Welcome back to Backton Cross. Just kidding. We're in your local movie theater parking lot. I'm Mara.
And I'm Gio.
And we are fresh out the film.
Indeed. We are. Very fresh out the film. And I would say, well, I was about to reveal whether it was a good or bad film. I guess we'll wait on that for a second here. But it was a good film to be talking through. That's what I'll say now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
A lot happened.
100%. It's, one of those that I would definitely be thinking about for a little while if I wasn't able to talk about it after, you know?
Yeah.
I'd be sitting up tonight just thinking about Bob and his hijinks that he got up to in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And my boy, Benicio del Toro, as well.
Yeah.
Sensei Bob. Wait. Was he Sensei Bob? That can't be.
No.
Just Sensei?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it was a decent theater experience today. I was not many people in the theater. Sensei Sergio.
Sensei Bob.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that would make no sense since we already have a Bob in the movie, but it'd be, a little Paul Thomas Anderson flair, I would say. Naming two characters the same thing. Because we would, they call him Sensei the whole movie. They could throw Sensei Bob in there. Wouldn't throw you off too much. Those are two very, very different characters, Bob and Sensei Sergio, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got a lot of yas over there. Has this movie left you drained?
Yep.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Yeah, me too. Or, well, drained in the sense of a lot of energy put into the screen to have to stay with that movie that was going at breakneck speed.
Yeah.
But afterwards, I'm definitely, especially the way this movie ended, I was feeling very happy.
Yeah.
And inspired.
I'm sorry, I can't look over at you. I just, tweaked my neck.
Oh, boy.
I have to look forward.
Yikes. So we'll be not making eye contact this whole episode.
Oh my goodness, that hurt. You know when that happens, you just turn your head and there's just, this huge shooting pain?
Did you get a crack?
No.
Really? Jeez. I don't have that happen too often, which is surprising because I sit at home and make YouTube videos all day right now, and I don't have a chair to actually put my head against.
Mm-hmm.
So my head is just my neck is holding my head up the whole time. So I should have more neck pain. I really just get back pain. Yeah, just a lot of back pain, tightness.
Yeah, I
never
feel
had
that.
a massage, so.
Should get a massage.
I should. I really should.
Massages are nice.
Yeah, I'm scared a little bit. I think it would hurt.
No.
It would hurt, I could just picture how it would go down because, the lady would just be like, man, there's a lot of tension back here. And I'd be like, yeah. And then she'd just, press on it. I'd be like, oh.
No, that's not how massages work.
That is how my massage would go down.
They would ask you, what type of pressure you like. And you can let them know if anything hurts and they'll stop doing that.
No pressure. I would just rather have somebody just, run their fingers across my back.
You don't have to get, a deep tissue massage.
I think every massage for me would be deep tissue at this point. It's that tight back there.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Well, you had some controversy stuff to talk about?
Oh, yeah. Does that go here?
Yeah.
So, the controversy is minor, maybe in our minds, but in the minds of people with a radical political standpoint, it is maybe very big. So the controversy is some conservatives criticize the film for romanticizing political assassination and radical violence. This is where we have our man, our favorite guy, Fox News, David Marcus.
Don't say that.
Yeah. Called it an ill-timed apologia for left-wing violence. And National Review's Armand White deemed it a reckless ode to radical terrorism. Others saw it as a portrayal of immigration enforcement and a timely critique of the harsh militarized immigration enforcement in 2025 that we've seen with ICE. And, I think everybody knows, for the most part, what has gone down with that this year.
Right.
Because it's been very much in the news. But the movie sparked debate over political bias and polarization, with some viewing it as commentary on state power, racial injustice, and U.S. immigration practices, which I think It definitely doesn't romanticize that process, because the whole movie kind of takes place with this concept going on of the French 75 and the way that they fight back against what they deem to be injustice in America and what I think a lot of people would deem to be injustice in America,
Right.
including us. And that just rubs some people the wrong way, and I think that I could totally see somebody who doesn't freaking understand movies kind of looking at this as like, oh wow, they're saying, this is great what all these people are doing to fight back. And that's definitely not what the movie was saying.
No.
Although I do think that there was a lot of modern commentary in this, because although, as we'll learn later, Paul Thomas Anderson took 20 years to write this script, from idea to finishing the script, 20 years. There's obviously been a lot of that, unjust immigration enforcement in the country. So it's easy to write stories on, I think.
Right.
Yeah, just because there's so much.
Yeah, I think it probably wouldn't be as big of a talking point, and they wouldn't be bringing it up on, like, Fox News. Like, it would still be people talking about without the assassination that happened very recently.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I think probably that is probably, like, the fuel to the fire, because
Totally.
everyone is very sensitive around the topic of political violence,
Yeah, you're totally right. I guess that's why that makes more sense. The guy said ill-timed apologia is because he's looking at that. I think the apologia part is just not quite what the movie is saying.
No.
But there's the controversy, or at least the right-wing controversy.
Yeah, I think that's only being said because of it's like, it's at the top of what everyone is talking about on Fox News, so they can connect that to this movie. And say that the leftists are trying to say that, killing is amazing, a great thing, like, all that bullshit.
That's a great headline for your Fox people, I guess.
That it is.
But yeah, that's the end of our controversy. There's a little bit more with shooting locations, but it's just not that big of a deal.
Okay.
It would take more explanation, but yeah.
Well, our movie we watched today was One Battle After Another, written and directed, as we mentioned, by Paul Thomas Anderson.
PTA.
PTA. The cinematography was done by Michael Bauman. The score was done by Johnny Greenwood. It starred Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, and Benicio del Toro. The budget was $130 million. Now, Gio, do you want to guess how much they made opening weekend?
I think I saw something, so I can't accurately guess. Yeah, but
or did you want to guess the overall how many they made?
Oh, I only saw the overall, so
Okay.
actually I could guess the opening weekend. I'm gonna have a little bit more grounds to be able to make an accurate guess. But I'm gonna go with 45 million.
22 million.
22, that's low. Wow. Okay, so it made up in late weeks.
Yeah, so now it stands at over $140 million worldwide.
Wow. That's, we're in, the third week of this showing, I'm pretty sure?
I believe so.
Either third or, early fourth week,
Yeah.
probably when the episode comes out. But, so it's done pretty well. I would say for a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, I assume that's very well, because I don't think, at least, it might be something the marketing or just the content that he puts into his movies, but I don't think they've had massive theatrical releases. They're more so, cinephile movies.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a 4.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb, and 95% for Critic Reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Everybody's eating this up.
Yes.
That's a high rating for IMDb, especially.
Yeah.
That's surprising with the controversy that we talked about. I feel like it'd be one of those where there's some people coming in and very much not liking the movie because of the content.
Right. IMDb, I feel like, is the one where we see the most, review bombing based on the content that is happening. So that is shocking that it is so high and consistent with the other ratings from the other apps.
100%.
Apps and website. Fucking Rotten Tomatoes, get a fucking app. What are we doing?
Seriously, guys, we've been asking. I don't know if anybody else has been asking, but me and you have been talking about that for a little while now. Why do they not have an app? Like, it's. There's no way it's that hard to just transfer over what they have on the website to an app, and they would be
Right.
making more money, right? Like with
Right.
advertisements down. I don't know. You get a certain amount of percentage, like with App Store downloads and stuff too, right? So
Yeah. I don't get it.
that's stupid.
All right, well, ready to move into the story?
Yes, is it that time?
It is that time.
Heck yeah. All right. So we open Warner Brothers logo, right?
Yeah.
Warner Brothers logo on this?
Yep.
It's pretty solid. And the film starts as Perfidia Beverly Hills, which is Teyana Taylor's character. We didn't, touch on her name enough, because I know she had multiple names, so it's kind of confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, I guess it's Perfidia, which is a sick name. Also, quick highlight, since we didn't mention her at the top, that's why I wanted to say her name was Teyana Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Her performance in this movie we'll get into later, but she kind of was the main character for the first act of this movie, and holy shit, man.
Yeah.
She gave it her all. I mean, completely.
Oh shit, I forgot. Spoiler warning!
Oh, yes, we have to throw the spoiler warning in there.
I keep forgetting to do this every time. I guess our last movie was fucking Toy Story, so it doesn't matter about spoilers.
Yeah.
But full spoiler warning for One Battle After Another. We'll be talking in depth about the plot and everything that happens. So,
We are a full spoiler podcast.
yes.
Always will be, too.
Always will be.
It's not fun to try to... I've listened to podcasts that have, they go, either half and half. Honestly, that's only what I've seen, is they go half and half. Like, half the episode, no spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so annoying to listen to if you've seen the movie. I guess it would be nice if you haven't, but they're, constantly about to go into conversation. It's just like, oh, no, we can't say that because it's spoiler territory. Or, oh, it's in the preview, so maybe we could talk about this. It's a waste of time, to be honest.
But yeah, this podcast will always be spoiling things. You should watch it or listen to it after you watch the movie.
Yes. Or, if you don't want to watch it, we give a great
Yeah.
story that we're about to go into. I do want to say, this is a crazy follow-up to Toy Story. Like, you can't have two more different movies back to back. I mean, come on.
It's true.
This is nuts. But Perfidia walks past an immigration detention center. She meets other revolutionaries of the group. The French 75 is what they're called. They're all by the U.S.-Mexico border. And among the other members include her boyfriend, Pat Calhoun, also called Ghetto, also called Rocket Man. He has so many different names, because both these... He's kind of a legend, I feel like, in this fight for the French 75. There's Pat Calhoun, there's Deandra, Mae West, Loretto, and Jungle Pussy. Excuse my French. That was... hopefully it goes over that, because I had a great laugh when she introduced her name, which I don't think was right here. But they all organize a plan to break into a detention center. That night, the French 75 put their plans in motion. Perfidia comes upon the tent with that's a weird way to say that, with Captain Stephen J. Lockjaw, who's going to be a main character, maybe the most hateable face of the year, played by Sean Penn, while her comrades go free the detainees. Perfidia forces Lockjaw to walk out of his tent with an erection, which is pretty funny. Kind of gives you what this movie is going to be, off rip. And it also has, narrative, there's a reason for it, which is kind of interesting.
Right.
Because because she's basically get up, but not that way, stand up.
Right.
Get up, erection wise.
Yeah, as in get it up.
Get it up. Or not even, can you say it like that? How she rolls it?
No.
Get it up, get it up. I don't know if that's some sort of lingo I'm not familiar with, but I didn't understand what she was saying until I saw Sean Penn with a boner right there, which is hilarious. So yeah, force them to walk out of the tent, and as the group completes their goal, they start shooting off the fireworks or whatever bombs that at the time Pat was setting up. That's Leo's character. Lockjaw promises to see Perfidia again after she puts him in a cage, and they drive away celebrating their victory with Pat and Perfidia making out very passionately. They're like a hot and heavy couple this entire first act.
Yeah.
Just constantly all over each other.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see the French 75 continue to carry out attacks. At some point in there, we get the title, one battle after another, and we see why it's called that, because this fight literally is one battle after another. Fight the power. The French 75 continue their attacks, such as planting a bomb at a politician's campaign office, as well as destroying an electrical tower and knocking power out to the entire city, which is a cool shot. Made me want, I'm sure it was in post that they were able, like, there's no way they shut down the city's power for that.
Yeah,
But it looks so
no.
cool. It's like, I think maybe it's because I just watched Tron 1982, so I'm just like very happy with anything that looks remotely real.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, they knock power out to the entire city. All the while, Lockjaw has eyes on the group, but specifically Perfidia. As the group is set to rob a bank, they do a really cool scene here where they're kind of showing like the prep for robbing the bank and the actual like robbery going on at the same time. So you see one girl go and plant dynamite in this air vent in a bathroom, while Perfidia goes and takes the dynamite out and gets ready to arm it. But unfortunately, she's caught by Lockjaw. He agrees to, which I don't know, he must have just been hunting her down this whole time, I guess. I don't know how he got information. It's kind of crazy that he got that information and didn't relay it to the government. He literally like says a line that's like, I don't care what you blow up. Instead, he just wants his condition, which is that she meets him at a place and engages in a sexual affair with him. I guess you can call it an affair. That's what they call it here.
Yeah.
This is moviespoilers.com, by the way. I can give the shout out there as much as I can. They do great stories when they get them out fast enough. But she later meets him at a hotel that night and has sex with him, but with her in control very much. She is a dominant, right? A dom? Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Okay. The content warning we probably should have thrown out. The first act of this movie is just like sex all the time.
Yeah.
And just like sexual energy all the time. So yeah, she has sex with him, but we instantly cut after that, which made me kind of realize whose baby this was. Perfidia is later pregnant, but Pat thinks the baby is his because they've been, their partners. And did you pick up on that at all? Like, I don't know if he was trying to hide that at all, or just have one of those things where you're like looking back and you're like, oh, of course it was her baby or whatever, or his baby. But they immediately after they have sex, they cut to her being pregnant.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, I know whose baby this is.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but Pat doesn't. Pat thinks it's his. Perfidia's mother tells Pat that she doesn't think he's capable of stepping up to take care of her daughter and grandchild. And I think this gives Pat like even more of a reason to just be the best possible father figure he can. And it seems like maybe not give enough attention to his partner, which is a problem. Right. So Perfidia gives birth to the daughter, Charlene. She admits in her journal entries that she has gotten jealous of her own baby after seeing the way Pat has devoted his life to Charlene, which doesn't make you love Perfidia, I don't think, but I think it's not a theme that I've seen dealt with in like any content that I've seen ever. So it's a really interesting perspective to have.
But I think that is like very valid and a very real thing that women go through postpartum.
Wow. Yeah. Have you heard more about it?
I haven't, but I'm sure I can, because when you give birth, like your hormones and emotions are going crazy. So I think that completely makes sense how that could happen. To feel some like resentment for your child just because you like just aren't, I don't know what way to say it other than just aren't getting enough attention.
Yeah, it sounds
like that sounds like a weird thing.
But you can understand, especially she probably suspects that that's not his kid as well.
Right.
Which is like, a baby from an affair. There's probably even more reason there to not be as loving of a mother, although it doesn't like, make up for, like, I still don't think that's a right thing to be, but it's understandable in this situation.
Yeah.
More so, I think, because me and you both picked up on that was probably not her kid, or not Pat's kid. So.
Yes.
So, yeah. But eventually Pat realizes he cannot convince Perfidia to live with him and kind of settle down with Charlene, the kid, as a family. and she abandons them to continue being a revolutionary. Lockjaw later finds Pat as... Lockjaw just shows up in the weirdest places always. Pat's like at a pharmacy getting stuff for the baby, and Lockjaw just like walks up, questions him about his daughter, making him realize that everybody might be in danger, and making us realize that Lockjaw is indeed a racist, as we can starting to become more and more clear. Perfidia and the other French 75 members pull a bank robbery then, but things go awry when Perfidia fatally shoots a security guard that was reaching for his gun. What was the security guard doing, though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't understand. He was just crawling on the ground.
Well, I don't know.
First.
Was he reaching for his gun or was he reaching for his radio?
I don't know.
Because I thought he was probably reaching for his radio.
Wow. That's very possible. It was the movement that was making that. The security guard, I guess, just didn't think that she would shoot and thought that he could be a hero. It's just...
Right.
Yeah, a bad scene all around.
Uh-huh.
Because, yeah, Perfidia fatally shoots the security guard. But then there's a nice little car chase scene, which is very intense. Car chase through the city, but Perfidia is forced to go on foot until Lockjaw and his goons capture her. He tells her that she can go free if she gives up the other French 75 members, realizing and which she ends up doing. At this point, Pat realizes that he and Charlene are in danger, so he agrees to take Charlene to a sanctuary city, Backtan Cross. That's where we started our episode today. And now now the two are going to live as Bob and Willa Ferguson. So Leo is now Bob. He's no longer Pat. Charlene is now Willa. She's no longer Charlene. Sorry, I didn't know that actress's name. But she was great, too.
Yeah, she was.
Perfidia enters witness protection, while members like May, Loretto, and Jungle Pussy are all gunned down. Unfortunately. Sorry, I shouldn't have been laughing while I'm saying gunned down. That's a very sad moment, but it's the freaking name. It's just hilarious. When Lockjaw goes looking for Perfidia, she's already escaped and made her way to Mexico. So they really made this easy, I feel like, because you'd think everybody would try and escape witness protection at a certain point, right?
Yeah.
Like, she got out with ease. Nobody watching her house, like, no type of, anklet on her or something, like monitor. It's just, I feel like she got away very easily. And then we see her walking in, like, to the immigration offices or whatever, on the border to go to Mexico. And we cut away. So I also don't understand how she got through there. Maybe her connections prior.
Yeah, probably.
It was a little too easy for me, where I'm like, oh, come on. Like, every single, mafia member ever would have tried to pull that type of stuff, ratting on people, going into witness protection, then trying to get away from, that life that definitely does not suit them.
Right, but when you're in witness protection, I don't think they're that worried about you leaving.
Shouldn't they be?
Because, in that case, like, you're put in witness protection because of the people outside are the ones that, like, are really gonna fuck you up for snitching in the first place.
Right.
So I think it's probably just not a concern. Like, they're here, so they're not out there with all the crazy people that want to hurt them because they gave us the information. So I just feel like they're probably... Like, people probably aren't trying to escape that much. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that could make sense. I guess it's just her character specifically that you would want to escape that, and she does.
Right.
So it makes a bit more sense then. I think that situation would come up a lot because the lifestyle becomes so different. Like, that's something, you go from being a revolutionary to having to just, casually go work some 9 to 5 and pay your bills and not think about your life before, or you could go on the run and be off on your own.
Yeah.
But 16 years later, we get a nice little flash forward with no Chiron, by the way. It just has Willa saying it's been 16 years or whatever, or not even Willa. I think it's Perfidia. Perfidia. Sorry, Perfidia. It's a crazy name. I might be forgetting that.
Sick.
It is a sick name. But yeah, Bob has been taking care of Willa and having her train martial arts under the man, the myth, the legend, Sensei Sergio. But this is obviously my boy. Sorry I keep doing this, but I can't help but not mention Benicio del Toro, the man. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite actor. This movie solidified it even more. However, Willa has not been happy with the way that her dad has become an alcoholic and a drug abuser. He just smokes a lot of weed and drinks and drives, and you can tell that she has to take care of him more than he takes care of her. But we do get this just like the first really funny scene, I think, with basically Bob just coming to terms with like, not even coming to terms, but seeing him in action of how he's a father, and he's just so disconnected and like an idiot to the friends, and he's just like so many opportunities to laugh at what Bob is doing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Lockjaw has been recruited by a secret white supremacist organization called the Christmas Adventurers for his anti-immigration efforts, which makes sense that they'd want to pick out an immigration enforcer dude to be able to do that.
Right.
The leader, named Virgil Throckmorton, is apparently his name. I don't know if we ever got that, but speaks to Lockjaw and commends him on his work, but asks him if he's ever engaged in an interracial affair. Lockjaw lies and says no, but realizes that he needs to cover his back, I believe, in this moment. There's also a couple more stipulations, like you can never sleep with somebody of the other race. You can't have any debt. There's one more thing. What was it?
Don't ask me. I don't remember.
You were there with me, right?
I don't remember.
It was just, stipulations that you would imagine a white supremacist organization would have. Lockjaw and Bob's former associate, Howard, the one who gave Bob and Willa aliases, is arrested by an indigenous bounty hunter named Avanti Q. Howard is forced to give up Bob and Willa's names, as well as their location in Backton Cross. And this is where shit gets really put into motion, because, we spent a good scene with him explaining to Bob where he's going to go, and he felt he was just like he was in a state of confidence at that point. He's the guy, like, the vacuum cleaner dude in Breaking Bad or whatever. You've seen Breaking Bad, right? Have you?
I've only seen the first season.
First season, yeah, you don't get it yet. But it's he might be there in the first season at some point. I don't remember. But basically, the guy to give somebody a new life. But once he gets taken, it's very scary because now he's given up a lot of names, including Bob and Willa's. So, two boys do witness this guy, Howard is his name, getting arrested, send out a distress signal, which alerts the surviving French 75. And that's when Deandra shows up at Willa's school dance before Lockjaw and his goons can get her. So the men arrive Deandra takes Willa out, and the men arrive at the school and question Willa's schoolmates. And how scary would this be? You're just at a school dance, and then all the lights come on, there's a bunch of military dudes, and they're pulling people into the back, questioning and everything. Terrifying. So yeah, the men question Willa's schoolmates, including a few of her friends, who refuse to give up her phone number for the most part, which is pretty sick. They're just like, yeah, no, she doesn't have a phone, which we showed she does have a phone.
Yeah, really loyal friends.
Seriously. I mean, they like put their with the way these guys operate, whether they knew it or not, their lives on the line to not give up this phone number, which is huge.
Yeah.
That's when Bob gets contacted by an associate alerting him about the situation. However, he has long since fried his brain from drug use and cannot remember any of the codes over the phone. Because, they have to speak in code to make sure that they're talking to the right people and everything. And Bob just can't remember anything. He at least figures out that he's about to be attacked, and he flees his home through a tunnel before Lockjaw's goons can get to him. Lockjaw tries to smoke Bob out, but he escapes and goes to a payphone to call someone to get a rendezvous point to locate Willa. This is where I think the greatest comedic beat in this movie starts, is they keep asking Bob, what time is it, which is one part of the code in order to get the rendezvous point, and Bob's just like, I don't know what fucking time it is, and just keeps going off on the guy on the other end of the line.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's great.
Yeah, so he can't remember the answer to what time is it, and he's unable to sway the person on the other end to give him the info he needs, so in a panic, he goes to Sensei Sergio. He goes to the dojo, and once again, contacts the person. We actually get to see this whole Underground Railroad type thing going on with immigrants, which is pretty crazy how in depth it is with tunnels and passages, people just knowing exactly what to do to be able to escape these situations. Obviously speaking to real life and what's happening there.
Right.
he once again contacts that person on the line for the rendezvous point, but he gets nowhere. So he's just like, it's just great watching Leo get angry and angrier on the phone while he's being searched for, and it's just like, I wish I could remember some of the lines that came out of his mouth because they were just comical. I think we were both cracking up at that point. It was so funny. But Bob finally manages to contact a former ally who was able to vouch for Bob and get the other contact to give Bob the rendezvous point. Finally, Sergio, this is Sensei, who harbors undocumented immigrants, alerts them and has them run into the streets along with other students of his during his escape, or honestly, during Bob's escape, he puts him with a specific couple people, and they're jumping rooftops and things. And it's a great scene because, like, the rooftop jumping is just building up. They're, like, the 3 kids, basically, on skateboards initially that were leading Bob are just, like, casually parkouring off tops of buildings and everything. Bob's trying to keep up. Like, they jump over something, and Bob would just, like, slowly climb over it behind them. It's great. But unfortunately, and you don't think it's going to happen, Bob falls from the roof in a massive fall, going off a tree, getting hurt, and immediately as he keeps trying to run, gets tased in an alley. So it's really just unexpected because you think it's going to be this great escape, jumping across rooftops, and then Bob just falls, gets very injured. Meanwhile, the arresting officers interrogate Will's classmates, who all refuse to give up her phone number, except for one finally caves, which I would have caved immediately, so kudos to everybody. When it starts ringing, Deandra catches it and throws Willa's phone out the car window because Willa is not supposed to have a phone. In fact, Deandra asked if she had a phone initially, and she said no. This is a problem because the Lockjaw and his men are able to trace the call and figure out at least close to where the rendezvous point is.
Right.
So Deandra brings Willa to the rendezvous point, a hidden covenant of revolutionary nuns who grow weed. It's great. It's everything in this movie, man. It's always like, it's not just one thing. They're not just going to, they're not going to a sensei. It's a sensei who's like running this underground railroad operation. They're not just going to these nuns. It's these nuns who smoke weed all the time and are part of the revolution, shoot guns for fun and things. They know where, they know who Perfidia is, because she's a big, kind of a famous rat to everybody. That's Willa's mom. But they come to trust Willa and has her kind of pull her weight around there. Willa is hurt to learn that her mother betrayed her instead of believing she was a hero because Bob had left her to believe that.
Right.
It's really too bad, I mean, I understand why Bob did what he did, but finding out this way is definitely not great.
Yeah.
Then we get a nice little meeting with our favorite group, not the Christmas Adventurers, the white supremacists. They meet in an underground location and invite member Tim Smith to join them. This guy looks like an asshole. It's perfect casting for the role, I feel like. He just looks like the slimiest motherfucker ever. They discuss the rumor of Lockjaw's affair with a black woman and the offspring conceived from the affair. Seeing this as a betrayal from their personal ethics, Vigil orders Smith, the slimy-looking guy, to kill both Lockjaw and Willa to, clean up. He says it in some very racist way, cleaning up everything. It's just not a fun meeting to be at. It was kind of interesting, though, to see how, again, it was like the same type of kind of like hidden spaces that these people meet in, but it's very nice instead, and it's like they have the same type of codes and everything. There's definitely a little bit of duality going on here with the revolutionaries and these people, but these people obviously are very much villains. Bob is in custody at the hospital, but is aided by a nurse in escaping and getting back with Sergio. This is a really cool scene where Bob gives a fake name and somehow gets through parts of the process until a nurse eventually just like calls him Bob. And he kind of perks up, and then the nurse comes back a second later and just, like, takes off his handcuffs, go down the fire escape, and there's Sergio waiting. I don't know how Sergio has this type of pull to be able to get, like, you have to suspend disbelief a little bit, thinking...
Well, I mean, he runs, like, a whole Underground Railroad type thing. Like, he
True.
clearly has connections.
And I guess there's so many people, it's hard to keep eyes, because they were looking for Bob initially, but now Bob is just kind of rounded up with everybody else.
Right.
You know, so they're not keeping, like, specific eyes on him.
Yeah.
So they get en route to the rendezvous point, crack a few beers on the road, which goes awry because a cop sees. Here's a little plot hole here that I didn't love. Bob is the one who drinks beer right in front of the cop. And of course, the cop turns up his lights and starts following. And Sergio speeds up, gives Bob an opportunity to exit the moving vehicle. Although Bob's a little nervous to jump, Sergio forces him out of the car. But while Sergio gets arrested, I think we see it now. This is while Bob's getting away on foot. The cop is like, "What did you throw out of the car?" Which doesn't make any sense because they had to have seen another person sitting there to be able to see Bob drinking the beer.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. Okay, let's think about this, alright? Don't give me that look. Let me try for a second,
This is
okay?
a plot hole, 100%.
I could be wrong, but the beer he was drinking was a Modelo, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So it had, like, that shiny, like, gold type shit on it. So when he's drinking the beer, they're driving right past. They could have seen, like, the shiny can and not noticed that there was another person in the car. Like, that was all they saw. And then when they pulled him over, been like, I assumed it was just him. Because they were going by so fast that there could have just been, like, a glimpse of the can.
A glimpse of the can in the passenger seat, though.
Yeah, but how would you know from the side view?
How you?
It could be close, it could be far away. You don't know which seat it's in.
All right, because this movie I thought was good, we'll roll with that.
I know, but also, how would they not see him up on the window for a very long time before he pushed? Like, there's a bigger problem than just they saw another person in the car. They very clearly had to have seen him. Like, he was up sitting on the window about to jump out for a second.
Oh, for a while. And they were right behind.
That's our real plot hole here, our real problem.
Yeah, but they should have known that Bob was there, but somehow did not.
Right.
It was remarkable.
Yeah.
But Bob hotwires another car and makes his way to the convent of nuns, of high nuns. Lockjaw and his goons manage to track down the convent first and raid it. He grabs Willa and forces her to undergo a DNA test. They're kind of hinting at what was in this black box the entire time. Or this black case, more so. Turns out it's a DNA test because he wants to confirm that this is a little interesting because with how racist and, like, hard we know Lockjaw to be, it's interesting that, like, he has to put a DNA test in to prove whether or not he should kill this girl. I guess he has a soft spot for kids or something like that. I wish that would have been kind of explored a little bit. I don't know. There's just some character inconsistencies here. Like, that does not quite line up with the Lockjaw that we've seen this whole time. I think Lockjaw would just be like, this is a threat. You know, nobody else is going to run a DNA test if they hear about this, so I need to take this person out. But the whole DNA test does give a cool scene, at least.
Right. Well, I don't know if he's, like, I don't think he's, like, racist to the point where he's, like, killing all black people, though. You know what I mean?
But he's got to think about
and he clearly has a spot, like, a soft spot for, like, black women, whether that's, like, a fetishization type thing.
Yeah.
Which I feel like they were maybe hinting at that. I'm not sure.
That's a good point. He does, especially because it's, you know, could be his daughter as well, I guess. I wonder if there's something there. That probably is them trying to say that he has a soft spot. So that's what but it's not going to matter, really, the whole DNA test to the Christmas people, you know, the white supremacists.
Right.
They're not going to care about a DNA test. They're going to hear about this, hear the paper trail, and just be like, we can't have this.
Maybe it is for the viewer, that if people who didn't pick up on that immediately, as we did, as I feel like most people would, but people who didn't need that clear proof that it is his daughter. That could have been something there. That in case that was missed, it's very much confirmed that that's what that is.
That makes sense. It also gives, like, a great... It gives this awesome dialogue to where we get to see a lot more of Willa's character than we've seen before. And at this point, we see that she's a freaking fighter. Like, till death. She doesn't care. She spits all over Lockjaw with the way he talks. she talks to him.
Yes.
And just like some great scenes where she's like, why is your shirt so tight? And things like that. And it's just
Yeah. And after she says that, he says something like, I'm not gay. Like something about saying that he's not a homosexual because she's hinting that his shirt's tight.
It's so great because you can just see how insecure this man is.
It's so funny.
Literally, just this like 16-year-old girl is walking all over him.
Yes.
It's hilarious. But the DNA test does eventually confirm that Lockjaw is in fact her biological father, something that devastates Willa. Although, you know, she still knows who her real father is, which is cool.
Yeah.
But he has Avanti, who was that the guy who took out, oh shoot, I forgot his name, but basically the guy who gave Bob his new life. Avanti already took him from his house before, so he's a trusted guy. Has Avanti take Willa so that he can dispose of her. Avanti brings Willa to the location with other gunmen, but he draws the line at harming minors, which is convenient, I will say.
Yeah.
Again, nothing about Avanti's character to really point towards that, but it's good because you can relate to it as, you know, it's human. It humanizes Avanti.
Right.
It is a little weird how it goes down because he brings her to this place with other gunmen and they just, like, don't really care about Willa for a second. They're all just kind of, like, walking past her. I guess going to deal with that later.
Yeah, it was strange.
It was a little unclear, like, wait, so you're bringing her to this place and they're going to kill her, but they're first going to, like, all go have a nice little meeting inside the house.
Yeah, they just seemed like they didn't, like maybe that's just, like, the normal for that, like, they're a place that just, like, kills people. People get dropped off, and then they go along with their day, and then eventually they get, like, that's what the vibe seemed like.
It totally was. It was just, like, yeah, I guess it was weird because it's supposed to be weird like that, because it totally, there are other people there who weren't even, like, government people, who were just, like, you know, fixing the boat and stuff, and just like, yeah, this is just another Tuesday, I guess, even though it's a kid, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, Avanti luckily stands up for Willa in his last seconds. I just wish this guy had more character because he literally puts his life on the line, ends his life, standing up, fighting the other gunmen, and takes a fatal bullet himself while Willa takes his car and starts to drive away.
Yeah.
And this is another Breaking Bad thing that I got here with, El Camino more so, I guess, with Willow driving away, which I guess you will not pick up, but pretty much everyone listening to this podcast, I'm sure, has seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Has Mana seen Breaking Bad?
I don't know. Maybe.
She must have. With all those TV shows she watches, she must have. Mana, if you've seen Breaking Bad, let me know, because you'll understand the El Camino reference here with her driving away in freedom. So Lockjaw is spotted on the road by Smith, who somehow finds him. I don't know. He must have got information, but then Lockjaw went to, like, a secondary location. He went to, like, a third location because he went to go kill the girl in one place and then had to go to this other, like, killing house, I guess. It was interesting. But Smith somehow just tracks him down on the road and comes up to Lockjaw and is like, put your window down. Smith is the slimy white supremacist from before who got tasked with this. And he just casually shoots him in the face with a shotgun, causes him to crash his car. At this point, we think Lockjaw's dead because he just got shot in the face with a shotgun and crashed his car brutally, flipped it over. It's, up in smoke and everything like that. Bob, who is still in that car looking for Willow, drives by the scene and fears the worst because he's seen the black car that Willow got into. Willa. I have to remember that, not Willow. Willa. So he finds Lockjaw, who's seemingly dead, and Willa's still driving as well, but sees that Smith has now tracked down Willa somehow. Again, how did Smith find Willa? Just luck, I guess. Not too many roads out there in the middle of nowhere, apparently.
Yeah, I think it was the fact, what I got from that, just based on, like, the facial expressions I was seeing from him when he, like, saw the car, it was more of a thing of, like, this is a secluded area where no one should be. Who the fuck is in this car here?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he committed to, like,
that idea. I don't know if he knew specifically who it was. Well, no, it didn't seem like he did.
No.
When it comes down to it.
This whole scene was just a little... I'm going to turn on... Can I go air real fast in the car? I feel like it's getting hot in here.
Yeah,
is that just me? Okay. Because I am... the story's heating up, and so am I. In a good way. I'm not getting mad or anything yet. But basically, this whole car chase scene it happens really conveniently. I feel like I was constantly like trying to come up with, okay, how is Paul Thomas Anderson going to make this make sense? Because you have Bob, who thinks that Willa's in one car, finds out she's not. Willa's in a car that he saw without really paying any attention to it, a white car. And then you have this other blue car that's trying to catch up to Willa in the white car. And it's just like a lot of how are they going to all get together? And I felt like they all got together kind of conveniently, where Bob just kind of sees them driving and is like, oh, that must be...
Sorry, I think it's important to mention, I don't know if you did, that they're driving through just like, this road is just all of these like massive hills, up and downs. So as like the other people are driving, they can only see the car in front of them for like a second, and then it disappears.
It's cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah, and they keep doing these camera shots that are like mounted on the very front of the car, so it feels like you're like flying right on top of the road and everything. It's lengthy. I will say this scene is very lengthy, like the whole chase, because they have to make up a lot of ground to get to each other. But Willa sees that Smith is gaining on her, and while Bob's driving in that direction, Willa stops right over the top of a hill and goes to hide behind a rock. This was genius. She stops at the hill. Smith is gassing to try and get up on her, but he obviously can't see the car over the top of the hill and just crashes into it at high speed. He gets out and approaches Willa, and she gives him some revolutionary codes, which he fails to respond to, so Willa shoots him dead before he can get to her, which is great.
Yeah.
We're happy to see this guy die. Nice little white supremacist death. It's
absolutely.
Always fun. So, what?
I'm just thinking, like, this is what Fox News is talking about.
Yeah, apparently.
What you said right there.
Yeah. I guess that's true. Yeah, no, sorry. I'm not. These are fictional characters dying. That's the interesting thing about movies, which, I don't know, might be part of the reason why the world is where it is. I don't know. But it can make death can feel warranted in movies because they're able to align you so perfectly to either hate characters or love characters. And, well, obviously the warranted ones are the characters that you really, really hate. Right. And since you've seen it happen so many times, especially when the world's established to have so much death already.
Yeah.
It's a little different, I think, in the real world. You know, when you're not around that all the time and you don't get to see everybody's story like that.
Sure, yeah.
But, yeah, I can see how I would piss Fox News off with that one. So Bob then goes by the scene. Luckily, the car crash got it far out enough I thought he was going to slam into those cars as well, which would have been funny. Like, that felt like the thing that was going to happen with this whole movie with just the you know, absurd comedy paired with, like, really fucked up things. I thought Bob was going to smash into it. But he luckily stops, gets out of the car, sees somebody behind the rock, and for a second, you pray they're not going to shoot each other because Willa has the gun pointed right at him. She can't quite see him from behind the rock, and Bob is just slowly creeping out to get his angle on where Willa's sitting. But luckily, Bob walks out, Willa gives him the codes, and it takes her a little bit to realize in all her trauma that she's just went through that it's indeed her dad. Bob luckily remembers the code this time, because if he didn't, I would have been scared to see what happened. And he reunites with Willa with a nice little hug.
Yeah, very nice.
But then promptly after that, I almost thought the movie wasn't over, because Lockjaw is shown to have survived the attack. We see his face just super bloody on one side, all disfigured. And he's just like walking his really stiff, fast military walk that he's had the whole movie. So at that point, we get a little scene where he goes back to the Christmas Adventurers, claiming that he was. This is another like the laughing where it almost feels mean, but it's like I think you're supposed to laugh. I don't know. The laughs that I might feel bad for, because Lockjaw is trying to tell the Christmas Adventurers the reason he had this interracial relationship is because he was raped in reverse.
Yeah.
That's the reason. But
I didn't find that funny, but
didn't?
Sure. Some people at our theater certainly found it funny.
Dude, but the way the delivery is, it's like...
Yeah, no, I get it. He delivered the line super well. But...
Yeah, because he keeps just like doubling down on it, and they're just like, well, why would she do that? And he's like, she wanted my power. That's it. Like, all this stuff, and it's just like... uncomfortable laughter is what I was going through. I just stifling what I'm trying. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but
Yeah, basically, like, his claim to why she would reverse rape him as he claims it
Like, even
is
that wording.
because she is stealing sperm.
Yeah.
And then one of the guys says, this one did get me, semen demon.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
It's so fucked up.
But I get, they're just doing it, they've made it consistent from the start of this movie to the end, the just absurd, over the top, just going too far.
Yep.
Which I can respect that, absolutely.
It's that scene in Babylon with Margot Robbie where she's in the car and she's describing to Manny. I don't know if I'm sure many people here haven't seen Babylon, but go watch it. She's describing to Manny that she's like, I want to make him squirm. Like, that's her whole thing about wanting to be on screen. And like, I feel like Paul Thomas Anderson's the same way with his movies, where it's like he wants you to feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
That, you know, the moment between like, should I feel very bad about this or should I be like laughing about this? It's like an insane balance to strike, and he pulls it off at multiple points during this movie.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. No, I think it's great how it just, he fully commits to it and keeps going on. Like, sometimes I feel like they do that in movies where it's just like a one-liner.
Yeah.
But for this, they commit and really go, which I think makes it good, because like a one-liner, like, you might not laugh at it. But like the whole conversation, I didn't laugh at the reverse rape thing, but I did laugh at the semen demon line. Yeah. Because they just kept going and kept going, which I really respect and I think is great.
It's a weird feeling, and I love when movies make me feel some type of way. That's great. But the Crispin adventurers appear to promote Lockjaw and give him his own office, but I think we all knew what was happening there. I thought he was going to get shot.
Yeah.
Did you think that too? Because they didn't seem convinced by his testimony. They appear to give him his own office, but they instead gas him to death, which is fitting because he tried to gas out Bob early in the movie. And they throw his body into a furnace, and we see him burn up at the very end of the movie.
Good riddance.
Good riddance, Lockjaw. And holy shit, Sean Penn. Have you seen interviews with this guy? Like Sean Penn, any recently? I don't know if I think his old interviews are pretty much the same.
Yeah, I have seen some.
How does that guy play Colonel Lockjaw? I cannot, like, he is so, like, laid back and, like, thoughtful about his words. His presence is just, like, zen. And I could not believe the performance he put on. Like, is there a chance he gets nominated for Best Supporting Actor?
Definitely. I would say so. For sure.
Yeah, he was fucking insane.
I don't know if he'll win, but I nominated absolutely 100%.
It's maybe not the range that you'd want to see. You
Right.
know, we don't see, like, the, you know, anything but anger and angst from him pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah, we do have a category we'll bring back. We can talk about all the Oscar nominations, we think.
Hell yeah. As Oscar season is coming up for sure. Then we get one final scene where Bob and Willow return home, and he gives her a letter from Perfidia, which is addressed as Charlene to Willow. This note allows Willow to reconcile with her mother's actions and kind of hype her up to fight the power as well, you know, be part of the revolution, which I think was really cool. It's just a daughter following in her mother's footsteps, and with what she's seen and learned from her dad, I think that she's going to operate a little bit differently.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
She listens on the radio to see a news of protests happening in Oakland, and Bob bids farewell as she goes to join the protest. He is no longer fearful for her future, and then they all live happily ever after.
Yay.
Not really, the fight goes on, but, you know, one battle after another, as this movie says.
Right.
But that's our movie.
Yeah, a really incredible movie.
Yeah, there's so much there, man. The story doesn't really do it justice for how fast this movie moves. That's why I think the third act felt slow with that last chase scene especially. But it is just a crazy speed with a 16-year jump, and then you're right back into the action. And that is what we just got into. The way that they're able to put comedy into this is amazing. Yeah. Bob's character just cracks you up the entire time. I mean, he is great. There's one that I remember where Bob's trying to charge his 1G phone so it can't get tapped and he can call the French 75. And this other kid is on his phone as, like, Sensei's trying to get everybody to go into, panic mode and go escape all these immigration people. And Sensei, he's just like, get off your phone. And he's talking to the kid, but Bob's like, I'm calling up I'm not on my phone. What are you talking? Just like tiny little things like that happen all the time where it's like, honestly, places where you kind of need a breath too, I feel like. Crazy shit going down, a lot of messed up, riots and fighting back against the police forces and all this stuff where it's just like, you love to be able to sprinkle comedy in there and not make it feel disingenuous. And it's perfect with Bob's character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think just in general, the characters were done just very well. I keep like thinking about this movie in relation to Caught Stealing, which is another movie we saw earlier, because they're both very fast-paced movies. But I think this one, and very different they're doing very different things, obviously, but just in context of them both being very fast-paced, one battle after another was able to bring to the characters something that Caught Stealing was not whatsoever, and it's so interesting to me when they can do that in such a fast-paced movie with such a big time jump as well.
Yeah. What do you think that thing was that they brought to the characters?
That's I don't know. That's why I was hoping we could talk it out a little bit, because it's so fascinating to me that I do feel like I know each one of these characters and not just as like one-dimensional. Here is their character trait. That is what they have. That is all they are.
That's the difference. I think that there are very distinct characters in both, where you can look at them and know how they are, but they had more depth to them.
Yeah.
Every time you think you understand somebody, like even, Sensei and stuff, like has a bit of a dark side with, just like drinking and driving, or all these things that don't quite line up with their character qualities and who they're supposed to be. It just like gives them depth and humanity, unlike something like Caught Stealing, unlike a lot of movies that I've seen.
Yeah,
because you
I
could
do.
so easily just sit in a place where these characters are just one type and it would work.
Yeah, I think you're so right. I think it makes them just like so much more human.
Yeah.
I think that's like the really beautiful thing. And I mean, yeah, they were able to give these characters like such depth, like a character like Willa, give her such depth just by little conversations. Mostly that conversation with Sean Penn, what's his character's name?
Lockjaw.
With Lockjaw, of course, really just showed kind of who she was.
Yes.
And it was such just like a small moment, but after that you were like, okay, we get what she's
you
about.
Understand her fight.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so
absolutely
true. And like with Perfidia too, who's only in the movie for like an hour, pretty much, just in the first act. We know so much about the way she operates.
Yeah.
And it's like, we feel bad that we understand why she ratted, and feel bad that, people hate her for that. We're aligned with Willa so much more because, like, it's just the performances too, I think. Like, Teyana Taylor specifically went so deep to paint this just rebellious person. And it was just engraved deep into your mind the entire movie, know? And obviously, like, there are points where she might be going too far in her ways or just not thinking about it correctly, but it kind of paints the picture for what the French 75 were in this movie.
Yes.
And it's just, yeah, I thought the characters were freaking amazing in this one. It's going to be hard to pick a favorite.
And we really did just have all the characters kind of like thrown at us.
Yeah.
Like so many people thrown at us at once, and it's so incredible that this movie was made, like, and we were able to just understand and pick up on all of these things just immediately. I love when people can make movies like that, and it's
100%.
fascinating, and I want to figure out how so I can do that.
Dude, just have enough passion. I think that's all it is.
Yeah.
And obviously, however many years of work Paul Thomas Anderson has put into
A lot.
I do think there were characters who didn't get enough depth just because there wasn't enough time to give them that. Just people kind of pop up out of nowhere and make decisions, like the, what was his name? R something. Or, come on, find it in here. I don't think I can find it, but he was the guy who, Avanti.
Yes.
Yeah, the guy driving the white Mustang, who stood up for Willa. Like, I wish there would have been more reason for him to do that. We didn't really understand it. There was a little bit of, like, throwaway dialogue talking about how he can't be trusted, but that was by the white supremacists. So I don't think we took that as earnest, you know?
Yeah, but still, just the decisions he was making, he felt like a very human character.
True.
Just based on that moment of him, saving Willa.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, we don't really understand why, but we can 100% relate to that, because, like, anyone would save a child from being killed. Like, that's crazy.
Same with Smith. It's kind of the two sides of that, where the villain white supremacist who went out to kill everybody, we don't really understand him either, but it's easy to demonize him because we know, like, how bad, like, there's not a ton of character there, but we know he's a white supremacist, so it's bad. Yeah. And that other guy, we know he's, you know, cares about human life, so he's a hero.
Right.
Like, yeah, it works. You don't have to give that type of death to everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think there were enough to just make some amazing characters. So with that said, who's your favorite character, Gene?
Oh, God. Jesus. Sorry for using the Lord's name in vain twice, but I really don't know. I have so many. Okay, can I give an honorable mention?
Okay, give your honorable mentions after, because I don't want you to honorable mention someone that I want to choose.
Okay. I'm going to go with Bob, then. I'm going to go with Bob Ferguson or Pat. Honestly, Bob more than Pat. You know? It's just the comedy that he brought, man. He like, had this just manic energy that was so relatable so often, making you laugh, making you care about his story so much. You see his passion for his daughter and wanting to get back. You understand the decisions he makes and why he makes them. And he just, like, he feels like the most human revolutionary there, you know? Yeah. Although maybe Pat didn't, who he was 16 years before, becoming that father figure. And you can kind of understand his struggle because he's going through the same things that, you know, Perfidia would have gone through in witness protection type thing, where it's like, you're now living a completely different life, and he turned to drugs. But, you know, it's just, the performance by Leo was probably the biggest part of that. Just, he gave his all and just made this guy so real. But yeah, that would be mine.
Yeah, for my favorite character, I'm going to go with Willa.
Yeah.
I think that actress, whoever she was, her performance was amazing. First of all, we'll start there. She was incredible. But I think just, I mean, maybe it's also being a teenage girl. It was a character I could very much relate to through the entire movie. And I could see myself throughout, just like putting myself in those positions that she was in. And I think that's what makes a really good character that I love. And all of the other stuff that I already mentioned in the character stuff, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I think she had such, like, really, like, a small amount of screen time.
Yeah.
But had just such amazing depth with her character. And yeah, I could really relate to her. I loved Willa.
That scene with Lockjaw was huge.
Yeah.
It really was.
It was.
Like, yeah, no, I agree. The honorable mention I was going to put out would be Benicio. It's going to be Sensei Sergio. Just because to have him and Bob together, I wish they were together for longer, because they are just two sides of the same coin, like just completely opposite, but both have this, you know, same drive to save people, really, and fight back. And it was just so cool to see what he would do for Bob and the way he would just, like, calm him down, deep breaths, you know, think of the ocean or whatever he would say, ocean breeze or something, ocean waves, I don't know, but it was just such a perfect role. Especially because I just watched Sicario a little while ago. So seeing Benicio as, like, the opposite of who he was in Sicario just made me so happy. And you really felt a calmness whenever he was on screen. Even when he's taking phone calls in the dojo early on as shit's going down in their town. He's, like, just giving that, you know, calm vibe out to everybody.
Yeah. I do think it's so interesting because we had two characters with, like, basically the same morals.
Yeah.
But who, like, were completely opposite. Like, they executed that in such different ways.
Yeah, both extremes of each. Of, like, the
Yes.
stressed out, have to get to the next versus just, like, go with the flow.
Yes, no one on the podcast could see it, but you could see my hands were out, like, wide, showing the two different sides.
Yes.
But I realized that wasn't clear with me
No
just
video
talking.
podcast quite yet. Although our first 2 episodes are technically video because I uploaded them wrong.
Oh.
They're just still images the whole time.
Oh. That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have our least favorite character.
Least favorite character. Ooh, this is gonna be tough.
It's hard because I don't remember names.
I mean, there's so many names in this, so I don't blame you. So if you describe them, hopefully I can feed it to you. But like as much as I want to say Lockjaw, I can't because his character was amazing.
Yeah.
Although completely hateable, he's supposed to be that way, you know.
Right.
I guess I'll go with Smith or whatever. I keep calling him. I don't know if it, but the slimy white supremacist who I was talking about. He just didn't have depth to him. He showed up to just be, you know, to go do a deed, and then did that deed very conveniently, I felt like. But that's really about it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Smith was gonna be mine, so I'll go with kind of on the other end of that spectrum. Avanti was his name?
Avanti.
Yeah, again, not a lot there. There weren't many reasons for him doing what he was doing. But really, there's not a lot of bad characters in this, so it's hard to choose.
Even the lesser characters of the French 75 were still so likable.
Right.
And, like, you understood why they were doing what they're doing. It was just, like, it's hard to hate on any of these people.
I'm truly choosing him because he's a character with not a lot of depth whose name I can remember.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
All right, moving on to favorite scene.
Favorite scene. Oh boy.
Okay. Do you have one?
Yeah, I do
Sorry.
have one.
I thought
Hopefully
you were
I don't
thinking.
steal
Go
yours.
ahead.
I'm gonna go with. There's so many great scenes in this movie, I will say, but the one that stood out to me just because I was laughing so much was Bob on the phone call.
I knew it.
Was that what you were gonna say?
Yeah, I have another one. It's fine.
No, my bad. It was Bob on the phone call to the French 75 guy because it's just seeing him get so angry, and then when he does get the rendezvous location, still being so pissed at the guy was hilarious. It was a perfect like breath of fresh air as shit is going down in that town. You know, the immigration law officers, they're coming in, they're fucking things up, they're being very unjust, and you just have Bob sitting there cussing out a guy over the telephone. It was amazing.
Yeah, great. I will go with the ending chase scene.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think like how that was shot was just like so beautiful. It went on a little long for my taste, but like as soon as I saw the shot start to be, I'm like, oh, this is going to be incredible. And it really was. How we mentioned how they had like the camera like on the front of the car or whatever it was, so you really felt like you were like flying basically. Like it was such just like a beautiful scene to watch. And there were so many just like gorgeous shots in this as well. Whether it was like Bob just like with the payphone against that like big blue wall, like wonderful. But that was it was incredible to watch, I must say.
The fact that the hills had reason to them too. They made it was like a one-of-a-kind car chase that was on a straight road. That car chase is completely different.
Right, yeah.
Worst scene now?
Oh my gosh, I need to say, I have been thinking about this all fucking episode, and during the entire movie, I was trying to think of like how I can find my least favorite scene, but I still haven't thought of one, so we'll make it. But I just want to make it known that I was thinking about it this entire time.
Remember,
that it has been top of mind.
It's not bad scene. It's worse scene.
Right, yes.
That's the hard part is you have to like stack them up in your mind. Because I think you go to one scene, you're like, no, I don't want to say it's bad in any way, shape, or form. Because there really wasn't many bad scenes in this movie at all.
That's the hard thing. When there are scenes that I love and there are scenes that I like, it's like I have to decide between all of the scenes that I like.
Yep.
but that's really difficult.
It makes sense. You need like a tier list for this thing. You just get every
absolutely.
single scene. Scene 25 here. Yeah, no, I'll go with mine. I am gonna say I'm gonna go with when Willa's taken to that third location to get killed. I just didn't know what was happening, and that's why I didn't like it very much. We're all with characters that we don't know, just more asshole, dudes in camouflage.
Yeah.
And it just took like a while for them to, I mean, they never did anything to Willa, and I just kind of expected that to be more of like you almost want to race against time there, like where they're about to kill her, and they're like, and then that's when Arvanti or whatever his name, that's when he comes in and saves, but instead she's just sitting there on the bench the whole time and watching people walk past her. And like we said, I think it was to kind of say like, oh yeah, it's just another Tuesday for these guys. But I don't know, it just felt kind of out of place and slow, honestly, because I wanted the third act to get going, and it was just like a whole moment where Bob's not there and she's just chained up for, a while.
Yeah.
That's mine.
I do, not to criticize your least favorite scene, but I do, because you said something that made me think of something. Like, I do think that was very much like the point of having it so fast-paced, and then you have this slow scene, and it's just like so off-putting.
It definitely
and you're
is
like,
the point.
what is going on?
All the music's gone.
Yeah. So I do think like it was really cool how they did it. Like, I feel like, and I keep relating this back to Caught Stealing, but like if they would have done a moment like that in Caught Stealing where like everything stops and it's so slow and like the music's cut and like that, it just makes it feel so much more when the action starts up again and like it keeps going. Because sometimes just being fast paced all the way through, it can be exhausting to watch almost. Yeah. Then you're like, okay, we have a breath. What the fuck is going on? This is really straight. And then we get back to the action. We're like, yeah, let's go.
It's a hard balance, especially in a 2-hour and 50-minute movie.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Because it's like, you put too many of those in and you're really fucking up, because then it's like, oh God, can we get over with it? But I do think it worked in that context because it was, like I said, such a breakneck speed the whole time. But yeah, least favorite.
Yes.
Least favorite, the worst scene. Wait.
Least favorite.
Least favorite scene.
Yeah.
Why did I say bad and worst earlier?
I used to say best and worst. I changed it to favorite and least favorite.
Ah, smart. That's easier in my brain.
Well,
okay.
It used to be favorite and least favorite character, and then best and worst scene, but that felt weird. It should just be favorite and least favorite for both.
I agree.
So that's what I changed it to. Okay, now that I've stalled for long enough, I'm gonna say that my least favorite scene is. God, I hope that as I was talking, something would come to me. I'm gonna wait. Just give me like 5 seconds to really.
I'll put in the Jeopardy music here. I probably want to just hum along. Dun, 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 dun,
This is so bad. Like, this is such an issue with our podcast. This is what I have to get better at. Oh my God. I'm gonna go with my least favorite was fucking Lockjaw, is that his name? Yeah. Lockjaw getting gassed out and killed in the just because like we knew it was gonna happen. He could have died before that in the car. Like, if we were just gonna kill him later, why did we have to like do this whole song and dance?
Yeah, we did. It was a lot more money for the makeup department too, because they had to have his whole disfigured face.
Yeah, and then have him burning.
Yeah, Jesus.
Like, so much work was put into that. I don't understand. I'll go with that. We knew he had to die. We knew as soon as he walked into that fucking office. When he walked into the meet, we knew he was gonna die. So it was just kind of like, how's it gonna happen? Let's get it over with.
And the white supremacists had already killed him. Before that. So it's not like even better. It's really the laughing, the uncomfortable laugh that we got from that scene was like the whole reason that like setup was there for him to die. Yeah, that's a good one.
Great. Thank you.
No, that's not bad enough, actually, Mara. Let's pick another.
I was thinking really hard on it. Oscars.
Ooh.
Oscar buzz. What do we think? This is definitely going to be a big Oscar movie. It's going to get nominations. Where are our heads at for this? I think
Cinematography has a chance.
yeah, absolutely.
Best Picture, I think, has a chance. I don't think it'll win. I think it'll get nominated for Best Picture, though.
I think Sean Penn will be nominated.
For Best Supporting?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about Leo? For Best Actor?
I don't know.
I'm not as confident as the buzz I heard around it was I think it set my expectations really high, and he just didn't have like that real emotional breakdown scene, because like his emotional breakdowns were more so played for comedy,
Right.
which it's kind of Wolf of Wall Street-esque, where like the real like acting scenes are more so something to be more of a spectacle than actually an acting like showcase.
Yeah. I think just like I've seen Leonardo DiCaprio and so have you in so many movies that like I know this wasn't his best performance and probably is pretty low on the list, not because he didn't do a great job with the character, just because other roles he has had more of a range.
Yeah, yeah.
And what he did in those
What's
roles.
your favorite Leo role?
I mean, it could be Wolf of Wall Street.
It's my second favorite. It's tough. There's so many to think through.
His role in Basketball Diaries was incredible.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it. I've heard though.
Like obviously Titanic, he was great, but like that's not the best. What? There's another big one. I'm forgetting.
We just recently watched There Will Be Blood, Gangs of New York. That was a pretty great performance.
But his fuck-ass accent in that, come on.
Yeah, that'll take him out. My favorite is Shutter Island, which he didn't even get nominated for. He did not get nominated for Shutter Island, which is a travesty. That performance is insane. I mean, like, the realization when shit goes down in that, and the overall like emotion that he shows. He plays two sides of it. Like it. Oh, I'm trying not to spoil Shutter Island just in case, but I like that is mine.
Mine. It's probably Wolf of Wall Street or Basketball. Possibly Romeo and Juliet. Like that was one of my first like favorite roles of him, where I'm like, this man.
Again, the dialect is probably difficult too. It's just so different.
Yes. Yeah, there's so many. I mean, the one that he actually won for, the
Revenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was incredible in.
Great one.
It's just there are so many roles that he could do so much more in them that I don't. He might get like based on Leonardo DiCaprio's history with the Academy, I don't think he's getting this one.
No, yeah, you're probably right. That's probably all we need to touch on with Oscar nomination. I mean, I'm sure if I go through the categories, there's probably a little bit more. Costumes? Maybe?
Could be nominated. But again, this is going to be another Oscar season where Wicked is in the running.
Yeah.
So I think Wicked is going to be clearing costumes.
It's probably
once again.
true. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the Best Picture winner. I think we can reveal that in our end of year episode, what we think is. I have mine 100% so
well,
far. This
not
didn't
all
beat
of
it
them
out.
have come out yet.
True. No,
so we still have to watch.
There's still some more.
All of them.
I have mine so far.
What is it?
I can't reveal it yet.
Oh, will you tell me after?
I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you off air.
I want to know. All right. Negative quality and positive quality. Do you want to start with the negatives?
Sure, yeah. Starting with the negatives, I'm going to go with... Jeez. I guess I'll just take the low-hanging fruit, the length. I think that there was... Although I don't know what I would cut out. I think I would just shorten some scenes. Like, obviously the chasing at the end, I would shorten. The meetings with the white supremacist, I would shorten a bit more. I think that in a movie that goes so fast for the first act, and then kind of still actually goes fast through the second act, but it has moments of, like we said, where you have to take a breath and then get back into the action and hype. I wish it was a little shorter so it could carry that kind of edge of your seat feeling the whole way through. That would be mine.
Yeah, that's fair. I think there was just there's so many good things about this movie.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, overall, and not that it was bad, but I think I will go with the score for this movie.
Wow.
Just
The
because,
score, not the soundtrack.
Yes, the score, not the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Just because music in movie is a big thing for me. I'm always looking for that big, powerful score. I think it probably came from growing up watching a lot of movies where John Williams did the score.
Yes.
I think that really has a pull on it. But it was nothing special, nothing that jumped out, and I think there could have been more that could have added so much more to just the overall feeling of the movie if that score was more. I don't know. I'm saying that so many times.
Well, it doesn't.
I said more like 4 times in that sentence.
It doesn't stick out. Like, it does,
Yeah.
against everything else in the movie, it just doesn't really stick
Right.
out. Like, I noticed it only a few times.
Yeah.
Like, the one that I thought was decent, and I wish they would have kept up with the theme more so, is that, like scary piano music playing while Leo's hopping roofs and stuff.
Yeah.
That was pretty alright.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one. Positive. I'm gonna go with the overall concept of the movie. I think it's really hard to make a movie like this and not, like we talked about at the very start of the episode, to walk the line of not romanticizing what these revolutionaries are doing or demonizing it is
Right.
really hard to do, especially when you're setting up villains going against them.
Absolutely.
Somehow they're able to make us feel for these people and still understand where they might have gone too far. And I think that is just so hard to do with the content that was in this film.
Yeah.
You know, and it could have been your normal, dad saving daughter story. You know, but your normal Liam Neeson story. Whatever. But it was not at all. There were so many more themes that they played with and like real world events that they connected to. Yeah. So that's gonna be mine.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go with the cinematography. I mean, it was incredible. Who was that fucking guy that did it? I don't know, whatever his name is. Incredible. So incredible. It was just...
Did you have any more favorite shots besides that the phone booth one that you were talking about?
Yeah, that was one that really stuck out for... I'm trying to think of the other ones. There were just like a few like still shots for transitions that I can't exactly pinpoint what they were, but that were just like very incredible, and it's just like that is a beautiful shot right there. But I don't know. I can't really pick out the specific scene. I can't think of them. But that one,
Michael
the phone
Bowman.
booth one, yes,
That's his name.
Michael Bowman, amazing job. It made it so incredible, to watch, especially because like this type of movie, like, it is more, like, in my realm of what I watch, but not completely, like,
Yeah.
these type of action, the chase movies, so when they have really amazing cinematography in them, that's what makes me love the movies. It's never going to be the action that's gonna get me. It's gonna be, like, the cinematography, the writing, the score.
That makes
more
sense.
So... The writing of the dialogue is what I meant. Sorry, not the writing of the overall film. That could be confusing. But yeah, incredible.
Heck yeah.
Sorry, I forgot you were waiting on me. We're moving
never.
on to the critic reviews.
Are we putting Gio's hidden gems in there still?
Sorry.
I was waiting for it. I don't know where it is. I have a couple of things. First, I want to just talk about best line. Did we have a best line in this one?
Are we doing that
Anything that stood out? Well, I mean, it's on the...
I can never do it because I don't remember them well enough.
But if there's a line that stands out, it'll go on here. I'm trying to think through a few. I think there were some from the Sensei, which was great. Yeah, I can't specifically... Yeah, I can't specifically remember anything crazy. There wasn't, like, The best line, I feel like the easiest pickings, there's always like the callback line. You know, it'll be something said at the beginning that's said at the end the same way.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got it. It's when Leo's running down the hallway right after Benicio tells him to go with the guys on the skateboards, and he goes, "Viva la revolution!" That's it.
Yeah, that's good. Sorry, I almost completely skipped your gems.
Which would be a shame, because now it is, in fact, Gio's Hidden Gems, the most expensive movie factoids. First, we have production and filming. It was filmed over 7 months across California. Eureka, Arcata, Sacramento, Stockton, San Juan Bautista, San Diego, Los Angeles, Borrego Springs, and El Paso, Texas is also shot in. Here we go. The second film of the 21st century shot mostly in VistaVision, following The Brutalist in 2024. It was doing the same thing. VistaVision is a high-resolution widescreen film format developed by Paramount in 1954 that runs 35 millimeter horizontally through the camera rather than vertically. Creates a much larger negative, resulting in a sharper, clearer image with less grain, which is ideal for grand-scale films and special effects. It's what we're seeing more because it's easier to format in IMAX, I believe.
Right.
So yeah, that was the VistaVision that I was talking. Maybe that was before the episode. According to director Paul Thomas Anderson, I also mentioned this, it took 20 years to finish the script. 20 years of writing this movie.
Damn.
It's pretty insane. Like, playing with these concepts for that long, having them fit into place just right. I feel like he probably could have gone with these ideas earlier and had something, but I'm glad he waited as long as he did, because we saw the best of it.
Yes.
The climactic chase in the desert was planned initially using Matchbox cars to help Anderson block camera placements and anticipate surprises on the road.
Damn.
It's kind of cool, right?
That's so cool.
Cast and character details. Paul Thomas Anderson previously approached Leonardo DiCaprio to play Dirk Dingler in Boogie Nights, but DiCaprio declined in favor of another movie that came out in 1997.
Titanic. Sorry.
We were just talking, I don't know, I mean, it's a date. That's a tough one, but Titanic came out, so DiCaprio has shown sadness about the decision since, saying it was a profound movie of my generation. When I finally got to see that movie, I thought it was a masterpiece.
But, like, you couldn't have done it over Titanic.
No, 100%.
That would have been wild.
Yeah, no. Titanic was also a profound movie of the
Right.
our generation. Maybe not our generation, but it's spilled over for sure.
Yes.
No pun intended.
Ahaha.
Okay. That deserved a real laugh. I'm sure the laughter was echoing from all the listeners. Benicio del Toro suggested ideas for scenes showing Sensei involved in the cause of helping migrants in a Latino Harriet Tubman situation. Apparently the way that he phrased it. In addition, many of the characters featured in the roundup and evade the sequence were members of his extended family, as well as close family and friends. So probably the people he's introducing Leo to were his actual family, which is so cool. And all the people involved know someone or were threatened or harassed by the immigration crackdown. It's really cool. Tiana Taylor did all of her own stunts. She didn't do a lot of running, a lot of gun firing.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't think of too crazy stunts, but Leonardo DiCaprio's character takes a selfie while pointing the phone screen away from himself. Have you ever seen that famous picture of Leo doing that at, where was it, the Tokyo premiere of Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh my god, yes!
Yeah. So I wonder if it was a little homage to that.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's such a great picture. The character Danvers, who is Colonel Lockjaw's second in command, we don't see him too much, but he's kind of the bigger chief interrogator. It is the chief interrogator, actually. I thought it was some of the muscle, but it's the interrogator guy. It's played by James Ratterman, who isn't a professional actor, but a security consultant and Homeland Security special agent.
Oh,
so yeah,
wow.
They casted a real guy for that one. There's a character named Bluto. Did you get the Popeye reference in that one? It didn't really make sense, but I guess it's a small Popeye reference, or else he wouldn't name a guy Bluto.
Oh.
That was one of Willa's friends, was named Bluto.
Oh.
Which is pretty funny. Joaquin Phoenix and Viggo Mortensen were rumored for the roles, presumably for 2 roles. Who do you think Joaquin Phoenix was rumored for? Their main roles.
Lockjaw?
He was actually, he was Bob, and Viggo was Lockjaw.
Oh.
I think Bob would have been a very different character if it was Joaquin Phoenix.
I could not see Joaquin Phoenix as
I can picture
Bob.
Viggo Mortensen as Lockjaw, though.
Yeah.
100%. That would have been also probably an insane
I could not
performance.
picture Joaquin Phoenix as any of those roles.
It's a trick question. I mean, he doesn't fit in as Bob whatsoever.
No.
This is the 4th collaboration between Sean Penn and Benicio del Toro after The Indian Runner, The Pledge, and 21 Grams, which I watched recently. Highly, highly recommend. Sean, it was the first time I like saw Sean Penn in a serious role. I know he's done a lot of it. I just haven't seen a lot of Sean Penn, and it was unfreaking believable. He plays just this like very broken man. Both of them, Benicio and Sean Penn, play these very broken men, kind of going through this religious story. It's told with fragmented storytelling, and it's just beautiful. Fucking awesome movie.
Just so you know, I wasn't ignoring you and going on my phone. I was adding that movie to my watch.
Oh, no, that's quite
I'm
all
sorry.
right.
I realized that seemed rude. You started talking about a movie and I immediately pulled out my phone.
Hey, that's a compliment then. Behind the scenes, Paul Thomas Anderson's fifth and final feature film collaboration with first assistant director Adam Somner, who unfortunately died of thyroid cancer on November 27th, this was 2024, before the movie came out. They previously worked on There Will Be Blood, The Master, Inherent Vice, and Licorice Peaches together, so he was missing his assistant director, which is probably tough.
Licorice Peaches?
I meant to say Licorice Pizza. Did I say Peaches?
Yes.
My bad. I mean, it's just as, like, quirky of a name, I feel like, if not more so.
But very, very sad.
Very
Rest in
sad.
peace.
Rest in peace. Leonardo DiCaprio reportedly received a $25 million fee for his involvement, that has been the case, apparently his minimum rumored involvement for every film since Wolf of Wall Street. When $25 million is like that A-list number, that's like once you're in the upper echelon of actors, what you ask for.
That's amazing. I would love to be a famous fucking actor.
25 mil, man.
Damn.
Just before the beginning of the River Hills chase sequence, Bob stops at a fruit stand to ask which way Lockjaw's car went. The road that Bob ends up going down is called DiGiorgio Road, which is a nod to Leonardo DiCaprio's father, George DiCaprio.
Aw.
Pretty cool. And there's one more. I don't know if you noticed, but Spanish is spoken throughout the film, but there are no subtitles. That was on purpose. Wasn't a mistake or anything.
Oh, I did notice
No
that.
subtitles for the Spanish, so you kind of have to use context clues unless you're Spanish speaking.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool, and it still worked just fine.
Yeah.
You know? It was very interesting. But that is Gio's Hidden Gems. All currencies are available.
Wow. Perfect. And since I skipped some things, now we're on to the critic reviews.
I actually have one more. Sorry, I have one more thing to throw in here, just because I think it's an interesting conversation point.
Why didn't you say it? This massive pause.
I looked down and realized that I had one thing before the reviews.
Okay, go ahead, making me look like an idiot today.
How does this compare to Civil War, which came out in April 2024? We saw this before the podcast, so you won't be able to go back and listen to the episodes, listener. But what do you think? Were there similarities to Civil War?
Absolutely. That was the other movie. I didn't bring it up during this, but I was thinking of Caught Stealing and Civil War during this. Those were the two.
100%.
Civil War, not super memorable for me.
Not very, but definitely like seeing the, extremist of what people would do in a situation where it's very different when a civil war is literally going on, like the movie says, versus revolutionaries.
Right.
It's not quite the same. I think just nothing about how the way the story played out, or really the distinctness in the characters, I think were kind of similar, where they would have, the villain that's one way, and we don't get to see any more of that. I expected more similarities, honestly, going into this.
Yeah.
There wasn't really one. I don't know if I would recommend Civil War, but it would be interesting to definitely rewatch and have a conversation about in regards to this film. But yeah, that's it. So now we're on to the critics' reviews.
Yes.
Okay, critics' reviews. Start with the good ones. Good or bad first?
Bad first.
Bad first. Odie Henderson from the Boston Globe. This is ultimately a pointless, overlong movie that occasionally gives some crowd-pleasing thrills en route to nowhere. 2 out of 4.
No.
Definitely not pointless. Like, think about the amount of themes this movie was touching on. This is not pointless.
Yeah.
And it also has a satisfying ending. Although, like, obviously the story goes on. One battle after another continues. It didn't lead to nowhere. We got our happy ending. We did.
Yeah, in a sense.
With Bob finding it, I mean, when the last time Bob saw his kid, they were arguing on the way out the door. The last time we see him, they are literally, he's like wishing her, be safe, and she's like, I won't, and he's smiling as she leaves.
Right, yes, a
that's
happy
a full
ending
circle moment
for our characters. But that ending includes that this is going to continue on, and our daughter is the one, like, taking over.
Yeah, maybe that's what Odie's hitting on there.
But I don't agree with that. I don't know what I'm trying to defend.
William Bibbiani from the rap, it's possible, maybe even likely, that Paul Thomas Anderson has stuffed so much into one movie that a lot of people will find something to take away from it. All I see is a lack of focus. Rotten score.
No.
Every Paul Thomas, there's so much there to unpack.
Yeah.
The lack of focus, you shouldn't be able to say that there's a lack of focus because he tries to touch on so many different ideas.
Right.
Like, I can see how it would feel disjointed in that sense if you like a movie that's just like, very straightforward.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I disagree.
Sorry, William. For the good ones, we have Kate Walsh from the Tribune News Service. Anderson has made the film of the year with the incendiary, incisive, and frequently quite funny One Battle After Another, which just happens to be a searing indictment. I don't know. And Kate Walsh, you have an English degree that I don't have or something. Indictment of this particular moment in American history. Yes, Kate. It speaks to realism. It speaks to why people might want to fight back.
Yeah.
And 100%. Good there?
Yeah.
Kyle Smith, Wall Street Journal is the next one. Rangy, I hate these fucking words, dude. Can you guys speak English, please? rangy in tone, style, and theme. It has so much going on that a single viewing hardly seems sufficient to absorb it all. Whether it's a masterpiece or a hodgepodge will be a matter of some discussion. This reach is evident, but the grasp is a little shaky. Still give it a fresh score. I think there is an argument there. There's just, think about the first act versus the third act. Those are two completely different movies.
Yeah.
I mean, completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I can see how it feels hodgepodge. I can see that. Yeah. But that's it for Critics Reviews.
Wow. So that means it's time for our reviews and our ratings. I guess this whole thing was a review, but now it's time for our rating.
Yes. Wow. I begin, as always.
Yep.
I was very, very excited going into this film. I had my expectations set high, and to say the least, it was still able to shatter them. I think that this film, like I said earlier, touched on so many just like dark themes and somehow was able to make you laugh along the way, and not just like, with the content in there, it should be a movie that you go away kind of feeling sad about, but you don't. You feel hyped up, and I think that for good reason. There's a lot of differences in every single scene, so I can see how people would think it feels hodgepodgey, but to me, it ends in a place right back where it started, or at least after the 16-year jump, and really right back where it started, before the 16-year jump, and with Willa and Bob's relationship. It just has insane depth to these characters that could have been written one-dimensional and still entertaining. Again, I already said it, the comedy in there is just unbelievable. How are you able to make me laugh this much with such a serious story? Lockjaw's performance as a villain is somebody who you can not just hate, but like want to strangle. It's insane. And to see the moral complexity, as we kind of talked about with him kind of going into it, with how he views people of the opposite gender, is really an interesting conversation, which I don't even think we got enough into, honestly. I think the only place where it really lacked for me was, a little bit of character depth that was not there, a few scenes that felt out of place, and maybe a little too much length to it. But this was a movie that just was pedaled to the freaking metal and somehow able to just not feel like it was only doing that to try and keep me entertained. It felt like it had so much more to it. I'm not quite finding the words, to be honest, to how to describe how much this movie means to me. But because of all of this, I'm going to put it at a 4.6.
Wow. 4.6.
That's where I'm going.
All right. For me, I came into this movie with no expectation. Well, I truly hadn't seen anything about it, but obviously great, like, big cast, as in, like, big A-list celebrities is what I meant by that. So I was excited. I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's such a great actor. And yeah, I really didn't know what I was walking into whatsoever, and I did. I really enjoyed it. I think it, despite it being such a fast movie that's just going in and out between scenes, it was paced so well. Um, the acting overall was just incredible. Like I said, the cinematography was amazing, but like there was something that wasn't there for me, and I've been trying to find it this whole podcast, haven't been able to. It could have something to do with the score, because music is something that's so big with movies for me, but like when I walked out of the theater from Caught Stealing, and I know I keep relating these two movies, but it's just a movie I saw that's sort of similar to this that I saw recently. I just had such a different feeling. Like, this movie didn't end and I wasn't like, oh, that was incredible. I love that. That was like there was just, the feeling after the movie was just missing for me. And as we've talked through it, I think it's an incredible film. I am failing to find, like, almost any problems with it, but, like, still, I can't take away from just, like, that instinct feeling that you get after movies. So, for that reason, I am going to put it at a 4.1.
4.1.
That's where I'm going with it.
I had you going with 3.9, so you were a couple ahead of what I was predicting.
I know it's not low enough to be a 3. Like, when I can't find any issues with it, I can't put it in the 3 zone. But it's truly, there's something there that, like, after you watch a great movie, you, like, get that feeling. You get that giddy feel, whatever it is, the adrenaline pumping, like, whatever that feeling is. And I just didn't get it after this movie.
That's what I was talking about. You go back to the Superman episode, it was the opposite. Of, like, I feel like there's so much wrong here, but I felt amazing walking out. I have to rate it, 4.7 or something. I went crazy high. So I get that. It's the opposite, yeah.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. And I think it'll sure be big for award season. So, I would say I would recommend to see this movie. To see it in theaters, of course.
See it in IMAX, because we didn't. Shot on VistaVision, so it's going to be better in IMAX.
Yeah.
It's formatted for it, so, I mean, I guess we don't see that. We're not IMAX supporters.
No.
But
We hate IMAX.
definitely see it in theaters. I think it's a movie that seems to be made for the big screen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. All right. Anything else to add?
I think I'm all good there.
So, with that, I'm Mara.
And I'm Gio.
So join us next week after opening
Oh, I have to stop you there.
Oh, I didn't announce
the next
it.
movie. Sorry, we were so close.
So
on our way
close. Our next movie that we're watching, this is so bad. I fucked up like this entire episode with the format.
Why do you not just copy and paste the main document?
I do, but there's so much shit on it, okay? We have, like, all of yours. I did it from the Google Doc that we have that had all of the extra categories. But now all of your bullshit is in there. Like, all of these little notes, so it's so much harder to see. I have to go through, I have to clean it up and figure it out.
It's all right. We're still
There's so
early
many, like,
episodes.
optional categories and bullshit like that. So, the next movie we are seeing, I'm very excited for. I've seen this movie before.
I've never seen it.
It is a fucking classic, okay? A classic. That movie, based on a book, is Twilight. Yay!
No.
Yes! It's gonna be so great. I love Twilight. I think it's just a phenomenal film.
Well, yeah, you'll see what I think of it in a couple weeks.
Oh, it's gonna be a really fun episode. It's gonna be fun. Anyone who's seen Twilight knows what that's about. So, it's gonna be a great time. So, now I can fucking hit the outro. With that, I'm Mara.
And I'm Gio.
Join us next week after opening weekend, because waiting to talk about movies is clearly not our thing.
and like horror movies, the Black Phone 2.
Oh my god, I keep seeing so many ads for that.
Yeah, their marketing is pretty insane.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing a video on it this week, so I'm kind of excited on the first one because I remember really liking
Hiccup from.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it was Hiccup initially. He was in the first one too. It's the same kid.
Oh, did you watch the first one?
Yeah, I watched it on a plane ride and I really liked it, and so I'm gonna go back and make a video on it. I'm gonna rewatch it and make a video on it.
I just remember seeing that trailer, like right back to that like romance movie he's also in. And we're like, he's doing everything. Yeah. What's going on?
Career
and that
takeoff.
Kid is younger than me. That's really upsetting.
You looked that up.
That's really. Well, I hate that I'm at the age where like people younger than me are like wildly successful, and it's not like those like few little child actors that you're like jealous of as children. Like, do you feel that?
Yeah, you've made so many strides to get into Hollywood too.
So many.
It's like it's just not fair.
Oh fuck! I forgot about my stupid location. This is such a dumb bit. Why do I keep doing this?
You could throw it out the window.
I can't now. I've committed too far.
Yeah, 20 episodes in using it. 21.
What do I even say for this? Like, it's funny when it's like things like Toy Story, like Andy's, but then it's so fucking stupid for other things where like the location is not like a main part of it whatsoever.
Yeah, I've planned to buy a bag of tortilla chips to keep in my car. These like $2 big bag of tortilla chips, but I haven't done that yet.